in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to access your local web server using a custom domain name, and you'll be assigned an SSL certificate for free. This whole process will be free except for the domain name. So the first thing you need to do, you need to have your domain name purchased. I'll use mine, which is I'm using Namecheap as my domain registrar, and then I'm going to use fortunedevs.com. So after purchasing the domain name, what you need to do is to just go to Cloudflare. You need to have a Cloudflare account, so I'll just log in. And then you'll be given this option for adding a domain name, so you'll just click here. Though in my case, let me just go back a little. In my case, I already added fortunedevs.com, but when you are adding a new domain that doesn't appear in this list, you just add a new domain. So I'll just use a dummy domain name just for demonstration. I'll use doublelist.com, though that is not my domain name. And then you go and press continue. And then we'll have this option for free, so you'll select the free plan. So select the free plan, and then you'll be taken to this page. So don't select any of these records, don't select any, just leave it blank, and then you just go to the bottom and press continue to activation. Now in this page, you'll be given two name servers that you'll use inside your domain registrar. So you have the first one and the second one. So what you'll do now, you go back to your domain registrar, and then you go to manage for that domain name. So the one that we're going to use today is fortunedevs.com. So I'll just press manage. And you'll be taken to this page. So in these domains, you'll have this section where we have name servers. So by default, you'll have it at Namecheap basic DNS, but now we want to use our custom name server, so we'll just select the custom DNS. And then after selecting that, you go to your Cloudflare account, and then you select you copy the first DNS that you're being given, and then go back to your domain provider, and then you paste it here. By default, this would be empty, so just paste it here, and then you go back to your Cloudflare account, copy the second one, and then you come back and paste it here, and then you save them. So after that, it will take some time to propagate. After making sure everything has been configured, now you need to go to my repository that I've created with a shell script that will use to configure everything with Cloudflare. Now you'll need to clone this repository, and I'll put the link of the repository in the description below. Now in this section, we'll have the installation command. So just copy this, and then go back to your terminal and paste the command. Well, I already installed it before, so I'll just remove it. So I'll just paste this command in my terminal and then press enter. So it will clone the whole repository to your local development environment, and then after that, you just list the content inside the repository. We have the SSH script, so we will need to execute it. Make sure you don't run this script using sudo. I'll just run it the way it is, and then you write the name of the script and then press enter. And then the first thing we need to do is to install Cloudflare. So we just press one and it will download the whole package that is used for installation. And then after that, we need to authenticate that package. So option 2. Now in this section, you'll be given the list of all domains that you added in your Cloudflare account. So you need to select the one that you want to use. So for this tutorial, we are going to use fortunedevs.com, and then you authorize. Now after we have finished everything, we can see now we can close this window. Just close the window, and then let's get back into, well, let me just close this. Let me just get back to our terminal. Now in this terminal, now we need to create a tunnel that we will use for communication with Cloudflare. Now the tunnel, we create it with option 3. Yeah, just write option 3 here and then press enter, and then we'll be asked to enter the name of the tunnel. So for this tutorial, just name it as development, and then press enter. Now this tunnel will be created, and now we'll link everything with this tunnel. So the next thing we're going to do now is to edit the tunnel configuration so that you can point to a specific port in our, which we are going to point, so that we can point it to a specific port in our local development environment for the service that we want to access publicly. So I'll just press option 4, and then it will open. You'll be asked to select the actual tunnel you want to use. So our tunnel is development, so we'll just select option 3, and then it will be open. It will be open inside Nano. So what we are going to do is to map a domain, a subdomain from that domain name that we purchased and configured it. So we are going to add it here as a host name. So for this tutorial, I won't change anything. I'll just use dev.fortunedevs.com. But now for the service that we're going to use, you need to point it to the right service that you want to use. For my case, I have this application here which is running on port 203. It is a school management system, which, well, it is running locally. I created it using E2, and I want to make sure that I can access this site publicly. So what we are going to do is to make the changes from this end. Instead of port 80, our application is running on port 203, and then what you're going to do is to just comment the rest. If you want to point to domain names, subdomains, you can add another one here or even more, but for now we are going to use just one. So let me comment these other lines, and then I press Ctrl X and then Y. Then the next thing we're going to do now is to route our domain subdomain to our tunnel. So that is option 5. Yeah. Now we select our actual tunnel to use, which is option 3, development tunnel. Now we'll be asked to enter the domain name that we want to use. So the domain name that we're going to use now is the one that we added in the configuration file, which is dev.fortunedevs.com. Yeah. In this case, we are getting this error that FortuneDevs is already used. So for you to remove the actual domain name that is being used, so that you can use it with this application that we are using right now, you need to go and delete it manually inside Cloudflare. So I'll just go inside Cloudflare, and then I'll select the fortunedevs.com, and then I'll go to the DNS records, and then I'll find the dev.fortunedevs. Here we have it, so I'll just select it and then I delete it. There's no option for deleting it through the terminal, so you just have to delete it manually. Well, now we have deleted the record. Now we can go back to our terminal and then repeat the same thing. So it is dev.fortunedevs.com, and then just press enter. In this section it existed, but now we are not getting any error, meaning everything is fine. So what you're going to do, if you have finished routing the domains, now you are being asked to press done, and then you get out of this section. Now the next thing you need to do is to, now you can either run the tunnel manually the same way as Ngrok does. If you close the terminal that the Ngrok is running, the connection also is terminated. So you have this option here, you can use it. I can just press option 6 and then press enter for it to start running, and then we start our tunnel, which is option 3. Now if we go to our browser and then we try to access the subdomain, which is dev.fortunedevs.com, you just press enter, and then you can see we are accessing the same website locally using the same link domain name that we created, and you can see everything is just okay. I can just try to log in and I'll be sent an OTP. And you can see it is working. Now what will happen if I try to close this session? Now if I go back to my browser and I try to refresh, you can see we are getting an error. So if you're using this in production, it is supposed to run by default on startup of your server. So what you're going to do, I've added an option in this the 7th option. You can enable it to auto start on boot. So I'll just select it and then press enter, and then I'll select the development environment, the development tunnel, and then we have this option for enabling auto start. I'll just select option 1 and then press enter. So it will create all the files necessary for auto start. Now after that, now we can go to our browser. We can still access this page. Yeah, you can see now it's working. If I try to access it on another tab, dev.fortunedevs.com, you can see we can still access this site. So you can use this method inside a server. So you can just have your local applications running locally, and then you use Cloudflare to link them with that domain name to be accessed publicly, so you don't have to open a port. So this is the whole process. And then if you want to remove everything, you can delete Cloudflare, you can delete the whole setup, and also you can delete a tunnel. Let me just try to delete one tunnel here that I'm not using. We have the test tunnel, which is option 5. Let me just try to delete it. You are being asked to type yes to confirm, and now you can see it is being deleted. Now if I go to this list for tunnels, if I try to delete again, you can see we don't have the test tunnel. So that is the whole process that you can use to access your local services, web services and Docker containers publicly using a custom domain name with also an SSL certificate. I haven't confirmed with you with this SSL certificate. If we just click here and then we go to the connection, if the connection is secure, you can see we have been assigned the certificate here with Google, so all the traffic is secure. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.